welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly referee today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Mongoose Publishing's excellent Traveler science fiction role-playing 2nd edition. And we are playing through a modified version of their module, Reach Adventures 5 of the Borderland Run. And with me today are the stars of the Borderland Run campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got David.
Hi everyone, I'm David, and I'm playing Dr. Ilyas Abdel, a physician and part owner of the Rift Wanderer, whose captain has just joined us. Excellent.
Thanks. Then next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Anchor Guvel. He's the pilot of the Rift Wanderer, and he is a Imperial raised Varder.
Very nice. Next up is Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham, and I'm playing Dane Loverick, who is a former Imperial Marine, and he's got butterflies today.
Yeah, understandably. And we're just waiting for James. I'll post the link to... Oh, there we go. He's coming in now.
Glad to have you back, James.
Last but certainly not least is our captain, James.
Hello. So I'm playing Captain Ganny. Captain Ganny's a bit scatterbrained today.
It's taken a little bit of time to get back. We've already you would have been the second person to miss a session because we're back from the vacation schedule. So Sean was out for drinks on Friday night when he was like, "Wait, what? We're playing?" So this is part 29 of our Borderland Run campaign. We are coming to quite the event today as well, but what has brought us to today, guys?
Just a little job we took on a while ago. So someone's contact said, hey, if you have some spare time in the ship, a little thing, no big deal. Just take a package from A to B,
Yeah,
everyday stuff, and turned out the package was a bit more complex and complicated than we had anticipated.
Yeah. And what happened last time? It has now been about a month.
The Fang Dragon?
Oh yeah, so last session we played that is correct. We played a war story that involved our first Fang Dragon in this campaign. So, where the heck was it?
Yeah, and Jodani infiltrators.
Yes, yeah.
Like we knew all along, ha!
That our last session we played was a war story set on Hilfer, where we actually used the 2d20 homeworld rules to play a...
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it worked out really well. That was it was pretty fun. Those travel rules in that Acton Cthulhu product are really, really interesting.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I always wanted to play like in the Traveler, I almost said Twilight, but Traveler 2300 verse. I might use that homeworld rules for that, because I think that'll totally...
Yeah, I think that would work
totally
really interesting. But last session of this campaign, in session 28, what happened then?
We successfully snuck away from our infiltration with the data and
from
back
Sync.
into orbit on Sync. Yeah. We flew into orbit to decipher the data, which took us a few hours.
Yeah.
And then to look through the data. So we learned that Tilator was correct in his assumption that he was betrayed.
Yeah.
By a family friend who sort of acts like a spy master of sorts, and who was not happy about being sort of placed here in the arse end of nowhere, I guess, on Sync, and had been made an offer by a rival clan to maybe, if he could send him some valuable information, he could find a posting more befitting his name and station and all of that. So he seems to have quite happily, eagerly betrayed Electoral, We have proof of that, which will hopefully come in very handy today. And then we weren't quite sure. There's still layers within layers of how it was orchestrated, but it's one of the rival clans. And then we decided to play it safe, Captain, with the ship, and we thought that there might be, ships waiting in orbit around Tayok, and so that instead of arriving where ships normally arrive, if we arrive closer to home, that would probably be better.
Yeah.
And so we did some risky jump maneuvers, some risky astrogation checks to get to arrive in system, not quite in atmosphere. I think we'll also discuss that.
Right. Yeah,
and
so
thankfully,
we arrived
it worked.
Yeah, it did. It was pretty awesome. We just appeared within 10. I think instead of the 100 diameters, very close.
Yeah, it was much closer than what they expected, and it caused a bit of a stir among the system defense of Tayok, but you guys were able to transmit information to identify yourself, and then I believe we left with you guys having just transmitted the data down to the clan Iowoi, and that you were going to be using their smaller starport to land rather than trying to use the main starport on Tayok, because it's so busy and there was people of higher station and more important clans go before others and blah blah blah. So rather than potentially get caught up in the bureaucracy and then having some accident in orbit, you guys elected to go directly to the planet as fast as you could.
Right.
Anything else we missed from last time?
No, I think it's pretty cool that we've made the Borderland Run in less than 12 parsecs.
I'll have to count the hexes for that. But
I don't know. I'm just had to throw that in.
Captain Gaddy, have you any questions about where we find ourselves now?
No.
We didn't
plow
blow up your
ahead.
ship.
Okay. Yeah, no damage has been done to the ship yet. So then, before we dive into the scene of you guys coming down onto Tayok, let's start the session the way we start all sessions, and everyone give us a D6 roll, and let's see how much luck you guys are having to play with.
Could you all roll extremely high, please?
There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
Ooh, Captain is...
That's a good start.
Okay, 12 so far. And come on, big money.
Lucky number.
Leading by example.
Lucky 13. 13. Now, I have done a few other... I've got a few other handouts, so I do want to back things up just a scooch to talk about the preparations for today. So I can't recall if I've got a handout for this or if I just kept holding up the book for it, but here are the monkey knives that Dane would have been practicing with quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. In the course of his training. So if you are going in with an unarmed duel, that would be the way to go about doing so. There's a couple of other things I wanted to bring to your attention, because there are actual other options for how to conduct the duel. Typically, the duel is conducted with dew claws or monkey knives, as the case may be, but another common dueling or melee weapon for the Aslan is spearhook.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. I mean, if you do decide to duel the spearhook, we have to do that like Star Trek, dueling music.
Yeah.
Because that looks very much like a lyric.
Background, yeah. Very Swiss pikeman.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
If you wish for something more brutal and more decisive, the Reaver's Axe may be a choice. But fair warning, the Reaver's Axe typically can only be wielded by someone with dew claws to properly grip it. So you may really be showing off if you elect to go with the Reaver's Axe. And if you wish to stick more sci-fi with it, there is also the choice of the Gravity Spear.
Kenny says, I'd recommend the Andorian Ice Axe if you can find one.
The other thing that you should bear in mind is there is a piece of accoutrement that all Aslan nobles will wear, which is Fiera. And this is what that looks like. Had that spelled correctly. I don't want to get a poor grade in my Troc spelling, test. So this is the Fiera, which is effectively kind of like a reinforced sash. So, or ceinture fléchée, if we can have our Canadian content for the day. The Fiera is strong enough material that it can actually be used for grappling in many ways, the way that like a bullwhip might be used. This is something that is typically worn by the combatants because it is part of a noble's station. And while you're not necessarily expected to make use of it, depending on how a fight goes, it may be something that they may make use of. And you, of course, will be expected to wear one if you are going to be filling in for him.
In terms of tradition, do we know from their sort of dueling etiquette in such encounters who kind of makes the decision as to which types or groups of weapons? Is it the defender of their honor, or is it the ones who are sort of, if you like, executing justice? The
defender, because there's so much, like, recall that this is in part a elaborate execution, more so than an actual bona fide fight. So the defender is the one who does get to make the call, and the defender also is the one who absent any other factors, if it is just a straight up execution, then they are expected to put up a good, a play fight, as it were, so that it looks like they died with honor. Though it's a facade that everyone just goes along with. Feline sod, I guess, in the case of the Aslan. But I mean, like, you can also, if you're reading over, there are also signs. Sorry. First off, if it is an actual fight, though, then you can actually choose what you wish to make use of. Especially when you are not a Aslan, the use of monkey claws alone is really showing a sign of, it's not bragging if you can make use of them. It is a show. It shows that you understand the culture. You're showing respect for all those involved, and you're showing in the most traditional way of dueling. But picking any of them will not, in and of itself, picking any of the other weapons, except for the gravity spear, really doesn't take away any of your honor. You are fighting to the death, after all, or to the if it's a hired duelist, they may not fight to the actual death, but probably pretty close to it, and they know how to stay alive. So
do I understand in the outcome where I down the opponent and they're unconscious, it's not like a thumbed thing where it's, do I finish the assailant off or not? Do I just have the choice just to leave them where they are?
Yes, a defeated opponent is as good as dead.
Right, okay.
So it isn't, in particular with there's going to be career consequences, obviously, if someone is a professional duelist and they fail in their, But it isn't necessary to get your pound of blood, nor is it kind of like, Hollywood Roman villain where they're just like, let him die, kind of thing. Like that's
sure,
in particular if it's conducted honorably too. Like if the outcome of a duel is respected as a proper outcome, there's going to be, some degree of hard feelings and whatnot from it, but there isn't a. There isn't the kind of like grousing about the outcome of it the way that, you should not expect any further consequences from it. If you are successful in the duel, Tila Toro will be seen as restored in the eyes of the Aslan.
Sure. Okay.
So one of the things to talk about, let's go to actually the ship here. Maybe let me grab everybody.
Just to let you know, I'm going to just reconnect for a moment, so I may just drop out.
You got it.
Okay.
Let's see here where we're going. We're going to the old ship here. Just right there. All right. So before you guys arrived, one of the things that Tila Toro would have brought up is again, he cannot speak. Once he sets foot on Tyok, he will not be able to speak. At present, there is a order for his execution that has been agreed to. So right now he is expected to arrive and be to turn himself over and be executed by way of the dueling, formality. By sending the information over, it will lead to some discussion, but that will be in kind of if you picture a cat person thing, kind of like everyone collected together in a big hall where everyone is able to tell their bits. That's sort of what to expect from from his father's court. His father's name, incidentally, the clan heads are simply, it's kind of like the suffixes that come with Japanese female names. It is a ko on the end. You just take the clan name and put ko at the end, so it is, his name would be Iowoiko, because he is seen as the head of the clan. Whatever his given name was before doesn't matter. Because you guys are not Aslan, you will not, as a right, have an opportunity to speak. But if you impress upon Iowoiko well enough with how you guys carry yourself and whatnot, you will be given an opportunity to speak, and that is where you can speak on Tila Toro's behalf.
We had agreed, I think, just it's been a while, so I'm getting on a bit. I forget things, but I think we'd agreed that we would all, as a crew, wear the sort of clan, or effectively show the clan colours or the clan symbol prominently on our clothing. So
one of the things with that is it is correct to try and. It wasn't the clan colors; it was going to be his colors, the Ihate.
His colors, my apologies.
Yeah, right. Because otherwise, it's presumptive to of course, to be. Yeah. But what is also an important part of it is especially with those formal first impressions among those of his father's standing. First impressions will be very important too. So any medals, any uniforms, any way of displaying what your achievements are in a visual format, that is something that will go towards impressing not only his father but the others in attendance as well. It is just a nature of the pageantry of the first appearance is a big part of Aslan culture. So incorporating the colors or the sigil or the heraldry of Tila Toro will go a long way to displaying what your allegiances are. And if you're able to display anything else, whether you are military or otherwise, that likewise will go towards, impressing upon the clan, how impressive and important you are.
I guess I'm going to have to wear the uniform then. So it'll be a combination of 3rd Imperium Marines Force Commander uniform plus highly prominent Tila Tora's colours.
Okay.
I don't know about the rest of you, but that's what I'll be doing, I think.
Yeah, I think if we're allowed to wear the house colors and then
not the house colors, his own individual heraldry. Yeah,
I keep making a mistake.
Dr. Ilias, Captain Gani.
Yes, same. I'll have my debadged Imperial Scout Service uniform and my and I can wear Tilatoro's sigil or whatever it is.
Do you have any ribbons or designations, Captain Gani? I can't remember. Apart from whatever your final rank was?
No, I don't think I've gotten the awards or anything.
A long but seemingly undistinguished career.
But I have many credits at the University of Space Phoenix.
This is the thing. If you mention that, even in joke, what Tila Tora will say is that my people will not know the distinctions. So if you include any of your achievements, seeing it in a visual format, it is how we would display. So if you display yours that way, it will recognize my father and his court will recognize it as the achievement that it actually is. And he is looking more particularly at you, Dr. Ilias, for this. Obviously, there are achievements that you have in your past for which you cannot brag.
Absolutely. My spy thinks Dr. Ilias will wear sort of a civilian nice suit, but then, well, ultimately he wasn't successful. I'm sure along the way got some decorations from the pharaohs of Simok.
Yep.
For like intermediate steps or just like honors bestowed upon that sort of service.
Yeah, didn't you have like a sash or something that you were wearing, or like
Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll have. Yeah.
Because I think you wore that when you went to see King Oleb.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it had that British member of or Victorian era Egyptologist kind of vibe to it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, nice. All right, then we can talk about your arrival in Simok. Now let's see if we can drain some of that luck out of there. Where is...
No. Get off.
So I think, let's see here. Where? Maybe it's in the core book. I was saying entering atmosphere. I can't remember if it's in the core book or in the Starship Operations thing, or if it was in the companion. Let's see here. Starship Operations. Buying a ship. All right. Well, we're moving in the right direction here, guys. There we go. Remote operations. No. Space combat.
There's atmospheric operations, which is 152 in the core.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Sorry?
Okay.
Not sure if that's what you're looking for.
It is. Yeah, precisely. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Pilot checks are required in high winds and extreme weather. I think you need not worry about that, Anchor. This is very pleasant atmosphere that you are pulling yourself into. And let's take a look at what your first impression will be once you pass the cloud cover. What's going through everyone's mind as you are making your way down onto or into the atmosphere of Tyok?
Who will we give Dane's cabin to?
Cheers.
Dane, you're the one who's perhaps the most significant date with Destiny right now. Where do we see Dane, and what is going through his mind?
Yeah, he's sort of just. I think he's just emptying his mind, really, as much as he can of the usual things, the obvious things of fear of the end. He doesn't want to let Tila Tora down. He's mentally going in his mind. He's rehearsing the sort of knife moves that he's been training. But he's basically trying to empty his mind of fear and just accept that this is his path. And he wants to succeed partly because he wants a new path. But if he fails, then he fails. And he's just going to have to accept that.
Is he in his cabin while this is going on, or is he on the bridge with everyone, or is he in the lounge, in the cargo?
I think he'll, in a moment of Britishness, he won't want to embarrass anybody. So I think he's probably going to isolate himself a little bit.
Okay. So you're in your cabin. The ship is rumbling as it's entering the atmosphere. Anchor, no doubt you're behind the stick. Behind the stick, yep. Is that a phrase? At the stick. You're behind the wheel or at the stick. What's going through Anchor's mind as you guys land in here?
He's probably thinking of, he's already looking for how to get out. I mean, like if things go south, how to extract and get out of things.
One thing you would also be, I think, aware of too, Anchor, just given your past career, there's a lot of Aslan warships out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Ilias, what's going through your mind?
I think it's a combination of some excitement about visiting a new planet and one outside of human space that'll be new and exciting, but then also some worry for Dane and some general disquiet at this whole that this has to be resolved with violence. Because in his mind, it's like, we have evidence he was betrayed. Why does this fight even need to happen in the first place? So there'll definitely be an element of like some consternation at that fact.
Boning up on his treatment of laceration wounds, I imagine, as well.
Yep.
Okay. And then, Captain Gani, what is going through your mind? As I imagine you're at the co-pilot seat while it's going down into the atmosphere.
Yeah. Just thinking that these Aslan and some humans are completely bonkers.
Yeah, and there's a good showing of you were seeing or you've heard at least talk about the movement of warships to the border, or not to the border to at least the rimward side of the gap between the Imperium and the Hyrate, and for good reason. There's a lot of fucking warships that are in orbit around Tyok. It seems as if somebody is spoiling for a war.
Looks like I'll be getting my call-up papers from the reserve then.
So then, when you guys dropped in, I believe it's a couple of hours. Oh no, I'm probably wrong. So from orbit to surface at 1G is 2,000 seconds. That's what, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a half hour for you traveling along. And one of the things that may be surprising is, as populous as this planet is, because it's got several billion Aslan and other Ascensions inhabitants on it, much of this planet is all jungle. So they seem to have been more mindful of spreading out inhabitants. What you've read, Dane, is, the sense of control over territory is still a part of Aslan culture, as hunting ground would be for their predator ancestors. So much more of the surface is made use of, but also it seems that much of it has been maintained or reclaimed in the centuries and millennia that they've occupied Tyok. And it is about a half hour until you finally reach where the actual low port that is passing for, or the Iowoi low port is located. And Anchor, you are given the go-ahead for landing at this smaller starport. Why don't you give us a piloting check? Your difficulty is going to be a 4. I think that's only 1-1, right? No problem at all. Yeah. Is there any flourish into your landing, Anchor, or you just bring down the Rick Wanderer? Oh, you might be muted, Carl. So, toast to Mo.
I did that on purpose. To be toast Mo. Right. You know, since I did get like over 5 DM plus 5s, I think I will do like a little,
Yeah.
You know,
so for such a wedge-shaped craft,
back into the parking space.
Yeah, exactly. What's the parking brake stop on a starship? So you bring this thing down, and it is as graceful and as impressive a maneuver as what you could ask for. And when you all collect into the cargo hold, I'm assuming, is that where you're coming out of? Is the cargo hold one, or the airlock at the side of the, like at the neck of the ship, as it were?
Yeah, I think do we have like a ramp that lowers in the cargo hold, and we can all?
I think so. Do like the Reservoir Dogs.
Process out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slow-mo walk. Love it.
Yeah. Sort of Guardians of the Galaxy style.
Playing the Mountain Dew march music from Conan the Barbarian.
So when this goes down, what you guys find is, in addition to, there's a number of Aslan that are out here, more than you have seen since leaving the world. But unlike kind of the, best face that, given the circumstances that you encountered on the world, here this is the full panoply of Aslan might on display here. So there are a retinue of Aslan bodyguards, all wearing combat armor and carrying gravity spears on display, and flanking who you presume to be Iowoi, which would be Tilatoro's father, dressed in Aslan ceremonial armor. And here we go, we'll flank him with Aslan stormtroopers. Here we go. The only thing that Tilatoro, or the only sound at least that he makes before stepping down the ramp, is a low kind of growl, and then he heads down and you come off behind. The assembled Aslan guard and court, Dana, you've been studying it long enough now so you can pick out where the sort of the heraldic marks are to distinguish between the different clans. And what you can see is it seems that in the time between when you messaged that you were going to be landing here and the current and the present, it seems that some other clans have hurriedly made their way to the low port too, because there are some others who are present here, including Representative. Well, actually, why don't you give us a recon check? This will only be a 6. And you can roll with a boom, because I'm assuming other people will be keeping their eye out as well.
Okay.
You're good already? Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You can see that one of the markings, because I imagine you committed this to memory, is Taiaweo. And Taiaweo were the ones who bought off.
Yeah.
I think that is how it's spelled. Oh, I put one extra. It's not. Here we go. Mayo. There we go. My figures are getting away from me. So, they make their way. As soon as Tila steps foot on Tyok, two of the armored Aslans step forward and take him under the arm. He makes no effort to resist. And as he is sort of moved to the side, his father steps forward and he looks over each of you. And let's see how well your plans to make a good impression are.
I think, as discussed, I'll have the monkey knives prominently displayed.
Yeah. Presumably in your, what's the scarf called? Fiera.
Yeah.
So he'll step forward and he says, "Who are you? And by what right do you stand with a clan lord's son?"
I am Dane Loverick. I stand as Teolatora's champion and second in the duel. We have a saying, Semper Fidelis, always faithful. I stand in place of this honourable Aslan, whose example has taught all of us the strength of your ways.
So why don't you give us a persuade check, please? Now you're going to get a... I'm only going to set the difficulty... We'll give you +2 to it as a... Sure. Remember, don't put the plus sign in, otherwise the world will implode.
Remind me what to do when you don't have... is it a characteristic test if you don't have
yeah, it is, and skill. It is at -3. 4 or 3?
3 usually.
-3, so you'll have a -1 net.
Okay. So I'm desperately looking to see if I've got anything. I don't have anything. Is that sort of, what would that be? Would that be sock?
A sock, yeah. Or, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I suck at that as well. So just
you suck at sock.
So I don't put the modifier in.
You put a. Does it give you an I can't remember if it rolls unskilled automatically. I think you would put the modifier in as a 2, but remember, don't put the plus sign in.
I'll put a -1 in then. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's see if that works. If it doesn't, we
see
can...
if it works, sorry. Yeah.
It's been a while since we've had to roll.
Oh.
Okay, so that did apply the appropriate modifier.
It did, didn't it?
So for this, in this heightened circumstance, with all the modifiers, that will require 6 luck to get to a success. Do we know what's at stake by this intervention? Whether or not you're going to be able to present the counter evidence.
David, could I ask you to spend 6 of my life points?
Absolutely.
So I think there is a very tense moment where people are kind of looking at one another and trying to decide whether this has been taken the wrong way and whether the presumption that you will be able to stand for him without first being recognized as people on Tyok. There's sort of a and you can see the representative, the ambassador from Taiweo is just, snarls and says, mutters something in Troc that maybe that's a word you haven't come across in your, books on tape as of yet.
Probably, no.
But
I think Dane, he perhaps isn't saying quite the right words, and that's hence what's happened. But there is an absolute serenity about Dane, a calmness and an assured nature to him, which probably belies what he's thinking, but that's how he's coming across.
Well, you're also accompanied by some very accomplished companions, and you yourself, if you're wearing all your uniform and your armor, and you're wearing the Fiera, and you're wearing the monkey knives, that speaks to someone who is trying to respond in the correct way, and that seems to be how Yawoiko actually takes it, because he snorts and then says, "You presume much. and he says something that is a... No, he would. Let's say, like, I think he would use the word monkey, but I don't think he would, because you've already made a good enough impression. You would presume to speak and stand for Tila Toro.
I would.
The order of execution has been issued. Would you place your neck before the claws of an executioner?
The die's cast, of course.
So you would know as well, this is your opportunity. He's letting you, he's actually engaging you in speak. This is where you can try and contextualize that evidence. And any of you guys can speak now.
Yeah, please do.
He has recognized you well enough. The first hurdle you had was to be recognized as have enough standing to be able to actually present any argument in favor of Tila Toro, because right now he's presumed to just be murdered or executed.
Dr. Ilias will take a step forward and say, Mighty Ueko, we have reason to believe that the order was signed without a full picture being available and was based on erroneous evidence.
Oh? And what evidence should have been considered?
The betrayal of Tila Toro in a most dishonorable way.
He nods. Go on.
Yeah, I think Dr. Ellis will just sort of outline. He will not mention the other clan. He will just mention the... Show wrote down his name. The one that was on Sync.
Yeah.
Who betrayed Tila Toro's plans and set all of this in motion. But he will not mention that we have evidence to suggest that the other clan was involved.
Okay. So you are describing that to it, and you can see his eyes are going to the ambassador as you were going through. It seems as if something might have happened before you guys arrived here as well, now that since you transmitted that information. And it is as you are trying to put it in the most tasteful or tactful way that Tayaweo finally steps forward and says, "We admit nothing. Oh, so we deny nothing. He was paid. It seems Aoi has dishonorable lackeys in their service. It is no shame upon our house that Aoi would carry themselves with such shame." And Dane, with your studies of the formalities of these kind of things, you guys just effectively won the right for you to actually fight for his individual honor, because and if any of you did not pick up on that or did not have Dane's understanding of it, the murmuring through the Aslan crowd at this point, the dynamics of the war that they were proposing, of one major clan going against another clan, or even Iowoi just being eliminated off the table right now. You have successfully thwarted the machinations of one major clan against another major clan. This is now strictly personal. So the Iewoiko stops waits until the murmuring kind of dies down and says, "It seems Tila Toro was not a victim, was a victim of dishonorable conduct. The shame upon Aoi is vitiated. But the order of execution stands. Dane Laverick, you offer yourself as second for Teletoro in this matter.
Forte tudine, we say, with fortitude. I have no fear. What will be, will be. I only now wish that we commence.
A lack of fear can stem from a failure to understand. Do you understand the import of what you agree to undertake? And he fixes you with a look that I think you've seen from Teletoro when he was kind of in that, you know, in his most, when he reconciled himself to his fate. It is the iron will of the Iowoi.
I reply, Teletoro is the greatest of teachers.
Then the duel will commence. Honor will be determined. You will have 2 hours to prepare. You wear knives, Dane Laverick.
I choose Duke Law. Or in my turn,
murmuring through the crowd. The weapons are chosen. 2 hours, Dane Laverick. Prepare yourself for justice. And he turns, and clearly he has a great deal of experience of turning with flourish, because the cape goes out in a way that only a clan lord can, and he stalks off. The armor, the way he moves in it, like, you've seen people move in combat armor who are greenies, and you've seen people who move in combat armor who are aware of having, you know, how to use that thing in situations of violence. He is definitely the latter. Teletoro is taken away, and he does not make your... He does make your eye... or he makes eye contact with you, Dane, but he makes no effort to try to communicate anything. He is led off. There are 2 more of the guards who step forward and kind of will direct you towards a guest quarters off to the side, where you will be quartered until it is time for the duel itself. Notably, because you are here on a matter of execution, you are not honored with a meal as of yet. So, the 4 of you are led to a guest quarters. This is very much... Oh, let me move... Hold on, I'll move these guys out of the way, cat people. There we go.
Hey.
There's my David Bowie content for the...
no criticism, cat people around.
You can see on the illustration on the left kind of a sense of what, you know, the grandeur of a clan hold might look like as well. Although this is I still prefer the more, you know, feline-faced Aslan than these weird Muppets that they have in the new illustrations. But once you are led into a very, very nice quarters, decorated with many of the, clan relics and things, there is one of the, what are they called, the spear hooks. There's like the Reaver's axe in there. There are other, more ancient, I guess, artifacts of the Iowoi as well. Older armor from a storied era from their history. You have privacy.
Well, we think we do. Do we think we do? Yeah.
You think you do?
Yeah. So far, in our dealings with... Go on, Cole.
Yeah, I guess we don't have the little gadgets to check, but we could physically check, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
If we want to check for bugs.
Well, just so far with our dealings with the Aslan for such an honourable people, it's continual. It's like continual information warfare, probing, spoiling for, I suppose, territory in a way. So it wouldn't surprise me if we're bugged or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so we could go ahead and we can look around. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah.
You would, let's see here. I think. So investigate. Investigate searching for clues.
Electronics? Don't know.
Electronics, maybe. I think it's more of a matter
physical
of...
thing?
Not streetwise.
Recon is there kind of default?
Yeah,
Perception.
I think investigate is probably the closest for the skills, because it's forensics and detailed analyses of locations. So probably that and intelligence.
Okay.
Eight is good enough. You're fairly confident that there is listening devices in here.
There aren't any? There are?
There are. You're fairly confident there are, but, I mean, they wouldn't really surprise, you know. This is not a... you are, you know, people who are retinue for someone who is marked for execution, so this is just a very pretty prison, in all likelihood. You could try and disable them if you'd like, but...
We don't know whose they are, do we?
No. No. With that good enough, like with an 8, you would. That's a baseline success. You're able to find what is in here that are like built into the. You know, there's obviously some security, visuals, monitoring of you, as well as probably auditory thing, but it's not like a hidden, you know, a bug that some other rival has put in here.
Okay. I mean, do we speak in code, or do we, you know, I'll start talking in Quebec, but, you know, Quebec poetry. So then at least it'll take some time to be, what the hell does this mean? All right.
Yeah.
Hey, we have nothing to hide. Here to do exactly what we told them we're here to do.
Yeah, as long as we don't. Yeah, I just wouldn't want like a enemy to know what we're about. But maybe we already sent the information, right? So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Taiaweo has admitted to it as well. So, you know, there's nothing lost. It's really just a matter of the duel itself with Dane and the executioner.
How do you feel, Dane?
It's a heavy responsibility.
It's happening a lot quicker than I thought it would. They didn't mess about.
It's good. It's good we get it over with. I mean, the responsibility is heavy, though. It seems, well, it's their ways. But to be responsible for somebody else's honor by fighting in a duel, it's you don't want to let the other person, when you know that they are honorable. I'll make sure I'm probably making these statements very clear so that they come across to whoever is listening, knowing that he is honorable and a considerable asset to the Aslan Hierate in general, both in terms of his skill, his knowledge, his expertise, his charisma, his leadership, and yet they would jeopardize all of that for this. Now, they would say that it is a matter of honor, but it is difficult for us because we have established very clearly that he was deceived. And it is difficult to understand why certain other clans members should not be facing some kind of test rather than a continuation of this. But that is what they are. That is what they do. I accept it, but just don't want to let them down. And I may well need stitching up if I survive.
I have hopefully enough bandages with me to put you back together.
Yeah.
But you will survive. I have faith in you.
Well, I'm gonna have to be quick because I just gonna have to be quick and try and take the opponent down. Well, that's all I can do. See what happens.
Anything we can do to help you prepare, or just you want to just
No,
be
not really.
left alone?
Meditate, relax.
Or yeah.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, there was
Just wanna
talk
get on
about
with it.
combat drugs before.
I mean,
I don't know what's the form, Kevin, on that. Do I think?
Likely that would be, unless it may be viewed, especially because you are a different species, it may be viewed as cheating or trying to tip the scales, and it would kind of, I mean, it would be understandable, but they may respond in kind because they're comparable tech level to what the Imperium has, and the it may negate whatever, you know, optics advantage that you have by fighting with monkey knives.
Yeah, I'll just have to go in. Skill alone.
Okay.
The bag back into my satchel.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think this is? The Tour de France? Come on. All right. Then anything else, or what? I guess more to the point. What do you guys do with your 2 hours?
I think what one question Dr. Elias would have is, and I think he'll include Dane in this, is, but obviously you're an incredibly trained individual and all of that, but what does happen in the wider scheme, and I mean also to us, if you do lose?
Yeah.
Like what happens to Tilitoral? What happens to us? If it
Do I
turns
know in
against
terms
you?
of the forms? I mean, obviously I'm done for, but what about others who wear his colours? Do they?
You have all publicly thrown your lot in with him. He will be. His is a personal debt, though. It would likely. Best case scenario, you guys are going to get out of here without any kind of consequence whatsoever. Absolute worst case, you will be driven off of from here immediately and be without any kind of protection. So anybody who would want to blow you up, there would really be no consequences for that. They wouldn't necessarily, because it is only his personal honor right now, and because none of you are Aslan, you're not necessarily going to be stained with that, but Tilitoro will most definitely, if Dane dies, then the Tilitoro will be executed in a very dishonorable way. So, do you keep the engine running, or?
oh, for us, yeah, we would probably be. Yeah, I guess we probably have it like not completely powered down, but you know, quick start, ready for quick start.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I guess the reactor's still on, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reasonable argument, is that you are going to be departing at the, you know, as soon as this is over, you will be leaving, as would Tilitoral. If Tilitoral, if Dane is successful, there's no reason for him to stay here.
No.
He is still Ihate, so.
So
yes.
we don't have, other than the monkey knives, I guess we don't have our weapons either, right? You know?
No. If you did try to bring them down just for show, they would have been taken by the honor guard.
No, I'll leave him.
Okay. No one wants to see what a gravity spear does to an unprotected body? Let's see here. Yep. All right. Then anything else that you guys wish to discuss or do before...
I do have a suggestion maybe for Dr. Ilias is we should examine or see what they have like medical facility wise. Are there low bursts available? Is slow drug? Do we have slow drug? You know, if, you know, as a contingency. I have full faith in Dane Laverick, but, you know.
It's going to be very quick. One hit and maybe two, depending on how good the hit is. It'll be done.
How did they hit?
Yeah.
You are intent on winning this, right, Dane?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good. I guess Dr. Ellis would also ask Dane if there's any, like, on the, you know, the 1% chance that you don't win. Is there anything you want us to do? Anyone you want us to contact? Any messages you want us to take back? Anything?
He sort of glazes slightly. He looks at you and says, "For good or ill, you guys are it."
We haven't talked about Dane's, 8 kids yet. All whose names rhyme with him too. It's Zane Laverick and Kane Laverick and Bane Laverick, Shane Laverick. Captain, you are the one who is sending out now a member of your crew to potentially die. Have you any words for him?
That was a very brave decision, Dane.
With the tone, you'd almost think that he's insulting you.
Well, he's already sort of rifled through my things, I think, and picked out the choice ones that he wants.
Made 3 little piles.
Yeah, if Dane wins this, you need to rush back onto that ship and take a bunch of colored stickers off of a bunch of his things. Then,
Dane, you're crazy, but you do what you need to do.
Let's see.
All right. Then, anything else you wish to do during that 2-hour period?
No, I think just make sure I've emptied the mind. I'm just ready for it. I mean, it's not dissimilar. I think probably go through the drill I used to go when we used to jump. Yeah.
So there's whatever stretching and warming up you may do. It is certainly hot enough to be fighting with the executioner will not be wearing armor either. He'll be wearing the what's it called? Fiera. And then trousers, and that's really it. It is a sand-filled arena that you will be fighting in as well. Or, I mean, to call it an arena is a little hoity-toity. It is really like a slightly large field or interior field that you'd be fighting on. Half of a soccer pitch may be the size of this. Nothing else?
No, I'm just trying not to think of William Shatner.
Exactly. Then I think we bring ourselves back actually to our title screen, because that is very close to where you will be going in here. It seems as if the pending return, where the word got around quite quickly, because the stands in this stadium, or arena, I should say, not stadium, are packed. You can see there is, Roman Colosseum style. There is favored seating in a box for Iowoiko. Tila Toral is there, held by his guards. And the three of you who will not be fighting in the arena are led aside and brought up to the box to watch the proceedings as well. Dane, as you make your way into the fighting, lane that will be leading you out into the sands of the arena, what are you wearing?
So I'll have my usual sort of combat boots, combat fatigues. Be wearing the sort of sash as described.
Yep, the Fiera.
And the knives. I think that's probably it.
Okay. So the knives, you can actually be wielding them now as well.
Yeah. So they'll be kind of out and ready.
Okay. So the crush of the sound from the crowd is probably hard to appreciate right now, and unlike anything that you have likely experienced, the rumbling of the cheers and the roars, to be honest, that are coming in are probably unlike anything you've ever experienced as far as it coming from living things. And what is the last thing that goes through your mind before the gates go up and you are led into the arena?
He'll intone an old imperial sort of motif that's often done before going into battle. Vulnerant omnes ultima necat. They all wound, and the last kills.
Okay. So you turn and walk out into the humid, bright day of the Tyok sun, and you see waiting for you, striding towards the center of the arena, is perhaps one of the largest Aslan you have ever seen. This in place, I'm going to use, because I don't have another illustration, and unfortunately the illustration in the book is not, I don't think, great. But unlike the illustration we've been using for Tila Toro, this guy has a bright yellow mane that is going back from it. His body, there are some scarring on his torso for it, but not nearly as much as what you would expect perhaps from a professional executioner slash duelist, suggesting he's either learned very quickly or he is quite new, and it's probably more of the former from the way that he carries himself as he goes out. You catch through the translator, or through your, rough study of Troc to this point, his name, Lowakti Kahea. The harbinger of your potential death is Lowakti Kahea. Let me put it in chat here. Nope, that's a wrong. Lowakti Kahea. There we go. Again, I know we all went to high school with Lowakti Kahea, but this one is with two eyes. So, as he stalks to the middle, his eyes are locked on you, and you want to give us a recon check? You can, in place of that, you could also you could use I'm trying to think, do you have a military profession skill?
I've got military tactics.
Yeah, why don't you try that with I think intelligence. Or SOC. I mean, I know you suck at SOC, as we've established, but... Okay. I'm not sure what you were expecting as far as the how this guy might respond to you, but you are not picking up any kind of, like, I'm fighting a human kind of vibe from this guy. He seems to be meeting you with the full level of respect and honor that you would have expected, I guess, in your mind's eye, I guess, for an honor duel.
He's a professional.
Most
This
definitely.
is what he does. And what I'll be doing is I'll be watching the way he moves as he comes in, seeing how he favors his movement, seeing as he favors his hands. I will be steely staring him back.
Sure.
And just watching him as he moves.
So the thing because you rolled pretty well in the tactics, what you can tell is that whatever your assessment was of Tila Toral's abilities with hand-to-hand combat, this guy carries himself like a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Like there's almost a telegraphing of the, the rolling of the shoulders as he's going in, the slight hunch. Even with the hunch, he still stands a good half head taller than what you are. And he is slowly, the dew claws are not coming out because those only come out when you're actually fighting. But his hands themselves, the four-fingered hands, have massive claws on the end of them anyway, and you can see he is flexing them as he is moving towards you as well. And once he gets kind of close enough to, he starts sort of like doing this sort of last minute kind of combat stretches that you would expect. And this is not formal, ritualistic presentation. This is someone who's getting ready to get in a fucking fight.
So while he's doing that, I will look up to, is Tila Tora present, or is he not present?
If you look up to the stands, yes, he is being held between basically two of the guards.
Okay,
with their gravity spears.
I will, with a mind to how he might react, my opponent might react, I will basically display the knives, cross them, and I will bow to Tila Tora, and then I'll step to one side and ready myself for what comes.
He nods towards you. Do you make eye contact at all with Iwoiko? Who would be
yes.
Okay, so if you meet, it's inscrutable, I think is the thing, but you are. You rolled pretty well in your tactics roll. We'll let you roll that forward. If there is any emotion that he is going through right now, he is not expressing it one way or the other. He is not sad that you are involved in this encounter. He is not glad that you're involved in this encounter. He has the look of, the face of rulership. However things go is how they go, kind of thing. Now, when you look back... go ahead.
No, I was going to say my final gesture would be just be to the crew. That would just be a sort of a...
Okay. So you stop about, or at least what you find is your opponent, Lawakti Kahea, stops about 10 paces away from you. And just stands and locks eyes with you until he slowly turns and gives sort of a symbol to Iwoiko. And then looks back at you as if waiting for a symbol. He's waiting for you or for Iwoiko to give the go-ahead for the duel to commence.
Okay. And
this is sort of this is the stare down at the mound, if you want a baseball reference. This is the duel of wills, if you want a samurai, Iijitsu duel reference. He is really this is a duel of spirit at this point as he's locking eyes with you and seeing whether you really can measure up to what your promise has been to restore Tila Toral's honor.
Okay.
What's the look that Dane returns?
I will. I'll just look back, and there will be almost. It's almost blank. It's expressionless.
Okay.
Almost robotic.
And as we hear the traditional Aslan call for combat to commence, I'll have to translate it from Troc because I assume none of you speak Troc, but the chant is, of course, roll initiative. First,
Now, do it.
let's take our mid-session break,
Oh,
and then we will come back and see whether Dane survives this encounter. So, for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay. Man. Rick, thank you so much. That is very generous of you. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and I hope that Dane does well in his initiative roll. Okay, I should... I even broke out once again my TAS dice for this. Okay. So you have the stats for Monkey Knife already, right?
I do.
Okay, great. All right, then. Let's not stand on ceremony, and...
I have selected token. I should roll initiative.
Yes, please. We've got...
Good luck, Dane. You got this.
I think...
so initiative is either intelligence or dex, your choice, and then it's the effect that you get is what your initiative is.
So I will go dex, which is a modifier of 1.
Okay.
Here we go.
Nice.
Okay, it's not too shabby.
Okay,
not too shabby.
And then, so it's actually the effect that, well, I mean, you're both rolling against an 8, so I guess it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, so my initiative's 1, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, and let's see here. Fuck me. Remember I said that there was the TAS dice?
What's that? Is that 12?
That is boxcars.
Okay.
All right. And which is, they're easy to pick out because I have the rest of them set to the 1s in my tray. Because the TAS is what normally shows up in the box. So hold up here. What we see then...
I suppose...
Oh, you could luck it,
chance. Yeah. Well, I could luck it, or I could, depending on what you think, and the Aslan, my Aslan opponent, may do the same, of course, is so long as they're not surprised, one traveller may make a tactics check at the start of a combat, and the effects of this check is then applied to the initiative of everyone on the side. So it's just a question of whether, as we're circling, whether I could...
I think it would come out in the wash. You may have the opportunity to do that too, but so would he, and he probably has more experience. So you could luck it though.
Yeah, but I've got such limited luck, and so I'm gonna I suppose exceed the fact that the Aslan, the professional duelist Aslan, is faster than me. Okay.
Yeah. Whoa, he races forward faster than like any of you guys kind of like, because you probably have seen him dueling with Tilo beforehand. And this guy is, I mean, every bit of his alien, feline-esque heritage comes into this as he leaps and seems to cover the distance between the 10 paces in a matter of split seconds. Dane, you can do a reaction to parry or to dodge if you like.
I will look to parry.
And each time you perform a reaction, it's -1 DM on your next
action. My action?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then if you're parrying, what's your melee skill?
My melee skill for blades is... So this skill is 2.
Is it 2? Okay. So it's a -2 to his attack then.
Yeah.
And...
Or his difficulty is 10. Depending on how you want to do it.
Yeah, either way. I think it's actually imposes a penalty as a dice...
Oh, does it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a negative DM, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a strange thing where, like, certain of the things will become modifiers, some things will become boons or banes, and then some things are adjusting the base difficulty. Okay, so, and... Yeah, his minor action wants to be to close the distance, so he's not going to be able to aim, so at least there's that. Well, I guess aim only applies to ranged weapons in this game.
Yeah.
Ooh, but he is a strong feller. I actually have to look up the modifier for his. Oh, it's probably my GM screen. Do we think? Is it on the referee screen? Let's see. I know skills aren't on here, but let's see if the. It is characteristic score. There we go. +2. So he has a net of +4 to this.
Jeez.
I'll roll in chat because this seems like a consequential thing. Here we go. Oh! Smashes down Anya with his dew claw, and this is not a striking to kill injury. That is +6 from the effect, because you add the effect to damage, right?
So has he applied the -2 to that?
That includes his -2. He's got a skill of 4 and a trait modifier of 2. So he's a he is not a amateur in this.
In which case, 9 plays 14. I will spend 6 luck.
Okay.
And I need to beat his number
for
to parry.
Oh, to parry, to not take the hit, you would have to spend 7 because he'd have to miss you. It would be 7 would bring it down to him rolling a 7 instead of an 8.
Got you.
Because the dice modifier applies, he still needs to hit an 8, a target number 8, in order to succeed.
Sure.
So,
yeah,
do you want to spend? That's all your luck then.
Well, he's going to gut me.
How much? What's your endurance?
My endurance is 8.
8. Okay, so that's that's
so
a lot.
He's got a die at least. He's got his strength modifier, and he's got an effect currently of 5.
Yeah, of 6.
6, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm making it worse. So, what would you like to do?
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna blow the luck. As I said, I'm gonna try and.
So you dive out of the way of this, and it this is all you had. You fully have the measure of this guy now. Your turn. What are you doing?
I can do nothing really much, but I will use the forms that I've been taught, and I will attack back.
He is going to. Oof. Yeah, he's going to parry as well, so it'll be -4 to your attack.
His skill is 4, isn't it? I've also got a -1 because I parried last time, so my modifier is -5.
Let's see.
Well, I'll apply that. I am really outfaced here. Yep.
Okay. So there's
my blow is really inconsequential. It's almost comedic.
Yeah, and there's a huge roar that applies from the crowd. Let's roll initiative again.
Again, okay.
Yeah, we'll roll initiative each round. This is a specific kind of duelish type thing. So let's.
All right.
This time I rolled a 7.
Sure. Let's see what we get this time. I don't think I put any modifiers in, do I? I do. I put in my modifier of +1. Go.
9. You're up first. He currently has a -1 dice modifier to his rolls. Now, I am always loath to try and, monetize any, narrative meta-currency or anything that's going to fuss around with the game. However, I will note we've had more donations to this session so far than any session we've had. So I think it is not unreasonable to translate that into further luck. So by Canadian dollars, that is just shy of $20 that have been donated.
Is this a case of the citizens are pleased, Caesar?
The donations have not been done for this effect. No one has asked for that, but I think it does sound like we have a lot of people who are on board for Dane. So why don't we translate that back into 20 luck for you, Dane?
Wow.
Okay. So, Dane, you are up next. It will be -4 to this attack because of his... he's going to parry once again, and we'll take the -2 to his attacks this round.
Okay. So I think I can... So I'm going to click on the actual monkey knives themselves. I'm hoping it's all set up correctly. Oh, I don't know. It's got... maybe I'll click on the skills. So I'm not...
click on my... Let's see what comes out first, and then we'll...
Okay. I'm not quite sure. It's got a modifier here. Does a weapon know what the skill that I'm using?
Unless you've selected it for the skill, then probably not.
I'll put the skill in, but we'll just have to be careful about what it's actually saying. So my skill is 2.
Some of the sheets will have like a drop down where you can select a certain skill, and then it'll automatically track to that. But
oh no, wait a minute, it's there. It's in there. Let me just add the skill. Okay, it's now good to go.
Okay, excellent.
Submit.
So nice. Did you? Okay.
Well, wait a minute. I didn't put the -4 in. You didn't put the
-4, and you didn't spend any... Oh, you spent luck after the fact, too. So that is... that would be an 8 on the... Oh, -4 would be 1 shy of a hit right now.
Okay.
Did you wish to spend any luck?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
How much would you like to spend?
I would like to spend... let's make this a testing blow. So I'll spend 4 luck.
4 luck, okay. So that would make it an 11 to 3, so that's 7 damage in total.
Yes.
Okay, so you turn... And there is a good redding of his. This guy now has another scar to add to his collection. And he will then turn towards you to return the blow. He has -2, so I only have currently +4 to this. Do you wish to parry again, Dane?
Do you know the way it plays out? I think it's really well worth you parrying.
Okay.
So I'm gonna parry.
So be -2. So I have a +2 to my roll here. So let's see. Oh, narrowly misses you with the return blow. And then you stand apart.
Spend some action points.
Okay. 2 exchanges thus far, and you stand it apart. Only one of them is bloodied now. You are down to 16 luck. Let's roll some initiative. I rolled a 7 once again.
I think it's just straight. No, I put the 1 in. That's right. I want to do this correctly. Whoa.
Okay, nice. 10. So, Dane, you have the initiative, but once again.
Okay, make that attack.
Okay, so that'll be -4 from his... He's going to parry once again.
Okay. -4. Gosh. So I need to put that -4 in.
Oh, -5 because you parried last turn too.
-5. Wow. Really?
How the?
That's 2 6s.
Look at that! Fantastic.
You got boxcars, yeah.
Now you also have luck you could spend as well. Currently, you're looking at.
Oh yeah. It's got to be. This has got to be the moment. I think. I mean, I could spend.
The damage includes the effect already, so I actually need to give him back 3 health from last time. But so go ahead. I interrupted you. What, you were going to spend luck?
I don't think the damage includes the effect.
It does, because if you hover over it, he rolled a 1 on that one, and his effect was 2, so it's a total of 3. And last time he rolled a 1, And oh, hold on. Did you roll a D? Did you put 1D or 1D6? Because I think roll 20 doesn't know D6. Doesn't know what a 1D is.
I put 1D in.
What? Put 1D6 in.
Oh, look at that! Oh my goodness. Would you mind if I just rolled a
Roll
D6?
one more time. Yeah. Let's see what the actual damage would be. We know your effect is a 2 currently.
1D6.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Roll 20. Good enough. Here you go.
Nice, beautiful. So that is currently 8 damage.
I think it happened last time too, but I don't guess we don't retro.
No,
Yeah,
we're not going to go back.
actually.
You can't go back and bomb Berlin.
Okay, so I'm going to need to. So if I spend, well, I mean, do you want to put a cap on how much luck I can spend in a roll?
I think 6 is probably the max because that's the size of a dice.
I need to really wound him and affect his modifiers. So I'm actually going to put 6 in.
Okay, and let me see here. I'll give you a second bar you can see here too for his strength.
So that's a lot of damage. And it's off his endurance first, right?
Well,
it's off his endurance first. Yeah, that's what the red bar is.
Yeah.
The blue bar will be his strength. So that is 12, so 14 damage. Look at this. 0 and... All right, and he is going to be going huge hit. You rake along. I think it's probably 2 strikes that you exchange there. Then it is his turn once again. Are you parrying again, Dane?
I think I have to.
Okay. Then
no, it's not affect. I don't think it's affecting of him yet, is it? In terms of
no.
his modifiers?
It's when you hit you. If either strength or dex are reduced to 0, you become unconscious. But until then, there's no death
it might
spiral.
affect his modifier.
But it might affect his
true.
modifier.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so then he is getting plus 6 in total, minus 2 for your modifier. Oh, and it actually got no modifier to his stats any longer. So it's plus 4, plus 2, plus 1 now. No, plus 0 because his strength is down to a 5. So it's just 2d6. Let's see.
Ask him to surrender, Dane.
Ooh, narrow miss.
I think at this moment he sort of lunges, but I actually catch his arm and I sort of look him in the eye, and then I sort of push him back in a moment.
Okay. He staggers back and roars, and the crowd roars with him. Let's roll initiative.
Come on.
Well.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. Let's have a look and see what we get. So it's just 1. I don't think I can beat that. Let's have a look. No, I can't beat it.
You have luck.
No, I think I need to save the luck.
Okay.
I need to save the luck. I will parry.
Okay, so he's got a minus 2, but he doesn't have the parry penalty right now because he suffered that last round.
Right.
So it is minus 3. He's got 2d6 plus 1 to roll as he rakes 5 again. Barely misses you. And then Dane, would you like to return? It'll be at minus 5 because you parried last round.
I did. It's 5.
The skill is keeping him up.
Minus. It is. It's amazing, isn't it? That the skill makes all the difference. And we put that minus 5 in. Jeez. That's really
You
tough.
almost got him, though.
I know. It's close. Oh, damn it.
That wasn't 2 1s, was it? No. So
just 1.
You could spend 4 luck to get a hit.
How's he looking? He's looking.
He's looking pretty badly injured by those last.
I've got to take advantage of a hit when I've got it.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as he surges towards you, what does it look like as you take him down?
Woo!
Well, so he lunges. I think in his eyes he knows that he's in trouble, and so he overcommits and I anticipate his overcommitted lunge, and I almost sort of move to one side as he comes towards me and lunges, and I sort of rake him along the side, basically opening up at the stomach sort of thing, and just pulls it across, and he sort of falls to one side, and I sort of duck to one side,
staggers to the ground, and then when he stumbles and then falls, he does not get up once again. There's a hush that falls in the crowd, and then suddenly, wah! Everyone explodes in cheers. You can see, if you look up in the stands, Dane, what you can see is that the guards around Tila Toral both stand back, and Tila Toral turns and says something to his father. And then, while the crowd is still cheering, he turns and walks away from the stands, leaving his father and you all behind. What do you do, Dane? Sorry, he doesn't leave. The ambassador leaves. From the Taiaweo.
What have I been taught is the form for a victorious?
There is likely some kind of gesture to the ranking lord, so that'd be Iwoiko, who you'd want to gesture to.
I'll do that. I will do that. I take it my opponent is sort of alive but badly wounded.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, do I see anybody coming to tend him, or?
I think you know that he will be tended to afterwards.
Right.
But
okay.
If I mean, you could if you check to see whether he's alive or not. That likely is not. It's a mark of a good opponent, right? He is again a professional. He's not doing this for glory or for whatever else. So he has been defeated fairly, and I think if you wish, you could probably like pull him up, and as he sort of, his eyes flutter, he sputters something out in Troc that before the female medics arrive, and you'd have to double check your Troc to Galanglic, dictionary once again, but you think he just spouted out well fought.
I'll just say it was an honor fighting with you.
Donde es la biblioteca? So, with him defeated and with everyone cheering, what is everyone in the stands doing? Tila Toral walks over. The Taiaweo ambassador has left along with his retinue. Tila Toral stands to his father and says, "I would take my leave now, father." And he nods towards him without saying anything further. Tila Toral looks to all three of you. Might I commission a voyage?
Yes.
Then, Dane, what do you do?
Well, I'll make sure he's tended.
Yeah.
I will probably sort of note the colours of Tila Tora, and I'll display them to the crowd.
Okay.
And raise the knife.
Yeah, cheers are going up.
Are you not entertained?
Leaving the roar of the crowd behind, Dane, how do you feel once you get back under the darkness of the that alley leading out to the arena?
Yeah, I probably as long as he can get to a point where no one's looking, he might retch slightly and just sort of just test whether he's actually as intact as he feels, because there was a lot of claw and blades going on.
Yeah.
And then just sort of think. I think his plan now is well. I wonder what this means for the future, for the next step. and for the crew.
So the rest of the travelers, you can be led down to where Dane is waiting. What do they find when they come into where you had been positioned before? The, locker room, as it were.
Okay. I mean, I was probably composed himself by then. I'll just sort of say, "Oh,
yeah,
sorry to disappoint Gunny, but what happens now? I wasn't sure there was going to be a now, but what actually happens now?"
Tila Toro says, "I've been exiled for 1 year."
I sort of look aghast at that. What? So that was the least you were going to get.
But I have been permitted to rest before my exile commences. The rest is the formal preparation stage. There is no set time for my exile to commence. And you realize that, Dane, I think from what you've read before, effectively this is kind of a loophole in it. It's the, you're going to start your exile, but, if you happen to die of old age while resting, the exile will never come to pass. So it is, for one, uncovering the traitor on Sync is likely no small thing. Giving Taioeo such a black eye and thwarting their efforts to try and build up such a joint effort to try and bring the war to Iowoye and their allies. Exposing that is such a huge advantage in Aslan politics for both Clan Iowoye and the others, that this is sort of a recognition that he needs to be punished because there was the, he failed as an Ihate on his invasion of Aransir. But regardless of the, the circumstances, but they're going to postpone it as a way of thumbing the nose at Toyoeo to be like, he's going to be free to act, basically, and do whatever he chooses until that sentence begins. So, most importantly, I guess, what I'll tell you, you will be able to stay on Tyok for as long as you choose before you leave. But perhaps one of the things you're wanting is your pay, because you are paid the remainder of your, I believe you got paid half of it to start, and then there was the second half that was due upon delivery. That is paid now, guys.
I'd forgotten all about the money.
So there will be nothing pressing that will be happening immediately after this. So what do you guys wish to do in the coming days?
I think from Dane's point of... Go on, sorry.
I think Dr. Ellis would insist, but maybe while this discussion is happening in the like a full physical of Dane to make sure there's been no internal damage or other sort of things, and then just like a few days of not having to worry about things would be nice. And so explore the planet a bit if we're allowed to, go out and about, or if they're like tours of the city and the architecture and things like that.
And then get the hell out of Aslan space.
Yeah, you certainly have
that sounds good.
Time to do what you wish. So your pay for this was, let's see here, because I think you got half at the outset, didn't you?
think that's right.
The fee is it was 500 500 credits per ton of the ship per week, or 900 per ton of cargo space, whichever is higher. So it was either 8,000 per ton or 14,400 per ton of cargo space for the full 16 weeks. Sorry, it was only 25% that you were paid up front. You were supposed to be paid 25% of it when you collected the cargo on Gibraltar, but I think I forgot. So you actually may have 75% of your pay still due to you.
Right. Nice.
Which is more favorable for you? The 14,400 per ton of cargo space, or 8,000 per ton? Let's see here. Here we go. Far Trader.
So our initial payment I've got on the accounts was from Joachim Streusen. That was 400,000 credits.
400,000 credits. Okay.
Yep.
So then that is 400,000 credits. Is that right?
That's what I have in the accounts.
Because it's a 200-ton ship, right?
Yeah.
Where's the
It's
phone?
got a 41-ton cargo. Oh, I thought it's got 41. No, what's the cargo?
So I think here we go.
I don't have it in front of me.
So 8,000 times 200. Oh yeah, no, it's 1.6 million. Yep. So that means it's 1.2 million credits that you're getting paid for finally delivering him here.
Wow.
Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to put that into the accounts, gentlemen.
Let me just quickly deposit this before...
We can put more things in the turret.
Dave, so you deposit all that money? What money?
Upgrade the maneuver drive.
Oh, look at that operating balance. Wow.
So, what do you guys wish to do while on Tyok, and what do you intend on doing next?
Well, you said Tulatora wants passage off-world.
He wants to go back to the world where his retainers are located. Plus, not for nothing, you guys left Ultima 1 back on the world as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then maybe head towards Drinax.
Do we have to worry about repercussions from the other clan while we're here, or?
While you're here, this is the
time
seat of Clan Eowoi's power, so you'll be as safe as houses staying with them.
Could I, during this period, just establish with Tulatora whether there is space in his retinue for my ongoing services?
Absolutely. If you wish to join his, basically like to join his household as a armsman, he will happily take you on for that.
Okay. Then I will offer myself for that role.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys?
I'm with Dr. Ilias. It'd be fun to explore the world, go on history tours, see the architecture.
Okay.
And I guess long term for the Doctor, he, having been cooped up in university or the palaces of the pharaohs of Simop for most of his life so far, I think he quite likes this whole exploring the galaxy and seeing new worlds and helping people in a broader sense, and obviously it also help with the medical side of things. So he'd be up for staying on the Rift Wanderer and seeing what other adventures await out there.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? Is Dane being cashiered out then? We haven't talked about what the arrangements were for the funds, but we're assuming everyone's sharing in whatever profits are coming through the ship. But I don't know whether that's less operating expenses to date or what.
I mean, the current operating balance for the ship. There may be some expenditure which I haven't quite accomplished, but it's just over 2 mega credits is the current operating balance. It'll probably, yeah, it'll be about that with the second payment in on top of the first.
Mm-hmm. You can also plan for, while you are not Aslan, so Clan Eowoy will not view you as, anywhere capable the way that Tila Toro has seen Dane. They still are grateful to their allies, so you likely have an ally that you can call on in future, whether by for other benefit or other information or whatever. We talked before too about the downtime. If you wish to spend say 1 week, well, I guess first off you need to transport Tila Toro back to the world at least. How does Dane break it to the crew for what his plans are?
Yeah, I kind of signaled it, so I'll just be very straightforward about it, just to say, well, it's been great. I'm going to hitch myself onto Tila Toro's retinue, and yeah, I just wanted to thank you for the ride. It's been good, and just wish you all the very best in whatever you decide to do. Take care and keep on flying.
Well, I guess you're not really leaving us yet, since are you going with Tila Toro back to his world, apparently?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Do that.
So I guess we got one more voyage with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I won't say, you won't say goodbye just yet.
Okay, yeah. And I'm going to carry on my usual duties. You might want another crew member.
Well, I'll definitely feel a lot less secure without you on the ship, Dane. That's for sure.
No, you guys are pretty handy in a fight. Let's be honest.
So, Tila Toro, let's. The reason I went here is just to see. It's 1 jump to get to the world, and then it'll be the jump out of Aslan space. You will be collecting Ultima 1 again. But Tila Toro wants to know what you have planned. Where will you go now?
Captain, any ideas?
Well, do we want to go back to see what King Oleb can offer?
That sounds interesting. There? Yeah.
Well, they have some nice advanced technology.
Yep. Better gear.
So for the upgrade to the maneuver drive, do you want to wait till you go to him and see if you get a better deal, or do you wish to do it here? This would be likely Aslan tech that you would be upgrading with, so there may be some unintended incompatibilities.
That would be another university course.
Exactly.
We never get the right driver updates.
Yeah.
So then
we keep getting 404 errors all the time. So drive not found. So let's get the tech level 15 one.
So then why... what I was saying before is if you guys are taking a week of downtime here, what we'll let you do is at the start of next session, you can roll an extra D6 for your luck. And apart from seeing anything on Tyok, is there anything else you wish to do here before you depart? I will tell you, Tila is eager to get back to his people. So if you could subtract the cost of the fuel from whatever your earnings are.
Yep. Did we? It's almost sounds daft asking. Do we have any? Do we have just standard berthing costs?
Here, no, you are not being charged anything for.
I wondered.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, so it'll just be they aren't giving you the fuel for free though.
No, okay, that's fine. That's just under 5k.
Okay.
Unrefined fuel.
Okay. And then let's get our rolls done for getting out to orbit. So let's see here. Captain Ganny, would you mind giving us a 2d6 roll, please? Okay. 8. Boy, I can never find this when I'm in this new version. No. Okay. Here we go. No, we don't. What the heck is this? The encounter table for in system.
An 8's a no event.
An 8's a no event?
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
it's a 4 for you.
Breeze gently out to the jump point.
That does not seem likely. Let's see here. It's not under the trade thing. I thought that it was under the starship section, but I couldn't find it when I was flipping through before. I think it's separate from the other encounter things, which is why I always struggle to find the damn thing. Transit times. No. No. Encounter. It is page 155 for those who may be curious. Why put the... Well, whatever. If it's going to be in one place, I'll just bitch about it not being in the other. All right, so the modifier for this is... Let's see here. It is a high traffic space right now, so it'll be +2, so you got 10. And Captain, would you give us a 5d6 roll, please? I am sad to say, guys, there are no encounters until you reach the jump point.
Yes.
So would you then, let's see here, let's get those jump checks done. We need a astrogation check, I believe, first. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. No problem. And that will give, wow, that's a 7 dice modifier, or it's a 7 effect on it, so that'll be +3, I think. To your jump drive check. J drive there, Captain.
Captain Ghani.
J drive, let me do that.
And Ghani, you'll probably be aware that you're probably heading up towards, if I've got my calculations right, some sort of maintenance period as well. So when you get on system, you're going to want to do some, sort of standard maintenance.
That is a success with 6. So, yeah, you guys are in jump drive. Oh, I forgot to grab my jump thing. Let me grab that book. We can jump. Go. Go. All right, Anchor.
Yep.
Would you mind giving us a D6 roll?
1.
Guys are robbing me of every opportunity. There is no encounter. What do you guys do with your week in jump? I imagine it's a bit after the events on Tyok and whatnot. Like, how is it settling in for you, being on the Rift Wanderer for the last time, Dane, and for losing one of your crew members for the rest of you?
I'm going to eat a lot of cream cakes and watch Tri-D videos and just like chill.
Or the rest of you
Going
guys?
to be off to be a meathead in alien lands.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Ellis will organize a communal meal for when we, either just before we reach World. Or maybe like wait till we're there so that Ultima 1 can join us.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. I think,
great.
we'll wait till we're sort of give a sort of crew farewell to Dane.
Okay. And then as Dane, what is it? You're chilling out. What about Anchor? How do you feel knowing that you've?
I think.
Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry. No, I didn't. I did a foul like on Jeopardy. I didn't finish listening to the question answer before I said the question. Reverse. Anyway, yeah. So he's actually going to avoid Dane. He doesn't like goodbyes. So.
Yeah.
A lot of time with Lucy. What about the captain? How are you feeling about this? Sudden influx of cash at the center of yet another conspiracy that Anchor turns out he's right about his conspiracy board.
No, well, it's all a new chapter opening up.
Mm-hmm.
All things. Brave new world.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I need to pass on some messages to the Navy. Of all these ships I've seen.
Okay. Were you taking account?
Me sitting there with my notebook, taking down
Why don't you
registry
give
numbers.
us a recon check?
Well, that'll be as much use as the chocolate far card.
It's actually not that far off.
You can take some luck though.
Yeah, there's 7 luck
some
still. 6 luck, 7 luck. 6 luck.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I just need 1 to get there.
Yep. So
Cool,
you'll have.
let's do that.
Okay. So you'll have some intel to pass along to the Navy when you have it, and then the trip is otherwise uneventful. Let's roll. Excuse me, once again. 155. I've learned the lesson. Get you back to the world. Captain, would you once again give us a 5d6 roll, please? Well, hello there. This is a settled space. It's border systems, actually, I think. +1. Would you now give us a 2d6 roll, Captain? Let me move my cursor. Okay.
Good average.
Keep sitting in the averages. These are streams.
What you find? Well, this one is a Route 66 roll, so it's not added together.
Still middle of the road.
what you encounter once you jump into the system for the world and you guys are encountering or approaching that massive space station, what you will pass along the way is a scout ship. So a ship in the scouting service. Do you wish to pass any messages along, Captain Ganny, at that point, or are you waiting until... Whoa, Jesus, there's a giant Aslan just arrived, guys. Hold on. He stowed away on board. I lied about the uneventful trip.
Well, I guess if we're not actually going into Imperial space, so I'd better pass a copy on to the scout.
Well, I mean, why would you not want to go into Imperial space? It's not like you guys have a, illicit psyker on board or anything like that. Wait. So then, I think at when you guys finally arrive at the world and you finally make your way, like you're a day out from it, this is when I think that Teotoro would ask to see you all in the in kind of the common area before you arrive at the actual world itself. He has, to the best of his ability, prepared something. He seems to have brought meat along with him from Tyok that he has prepared effectively as best he can a meal. There is a split between male and female tasks in the Aslan culture, so unfortunately he's making the best do he can, and it shows a lot that he's trying to respect your culture by preparing this for you. He also would probably have a word with Dr. Ilias to be sure that you still have some of those enzymes to be able to process the Aslan food. Doctor, you still have
make some more. If not, I'll make some more.
So then what he will bring you all in, assuming you guys all attend for the meal. Anchor, is he able to finally convince you to join everyone?
Yeah.
Anchor?
I'm sorry, what was the question? Some ringing.
That's okay. Anchor, he's asked you to join everyone for the meal as well.
Oh, yeah, he'll come.
Yeah, okay. So he sits down and he says, I think that there is... I know you have been compensated by my clan, but the debt that I owe you all cannot be so easily discharged. My life, and more importantly, the honor of Iowoi, has been restored. I mean this with no intent to offend. But as you are human, you cannot understand the value of that to me. I will ever be at your disposal, as will those in service to me. Captain, Dr. Alonso, Anchor, and Dane Laverick. I honor you, as you have so honored me. He gestures at the food. Please accept this as a small token. Let us laugh and celebrate our victories and the failures of our enemies. And he says something in Trock that Dane, you would know as a kind of a cheers, like a militant cheer.
Yeah. Reply. Yeah.
Then, with your last meal together concluded, he collects all his belongings and is ready to depart when you arrive at the world. Dane?
I've got, like, my gear, and I've got a box, and in the box are my potted plants.
Okay.
And I'll take those with me.
Okay. How do you guys want to work the cashiering out? It would be 1/5 of, I guess, 1/6. Depending on whether you're counting, Ultima 1 was not party to the original contract to transport him, so I think Ultima 1 would feel fine not being included in that payment or being counted among that payment, but
it's close to, round numbers, 2 million.
that you've got. So then that would be...
So for 5, it's 400k.
Yeah. We cashier out 400.
Sounds fair enough, yeah. This is where the captain goes, well, actually, I get three quarters, and the rest of the quarters is spread in the crew.
Yeah.
Ship shares,
pieces of eight and all of that, yeah.
What's the code, Captain? What's the code for this ship?
One as well, too, that would not include... That would not include the deductions for any upgrades or any expenses that were incurred along the way as well. Technically, so when those deductions would come out would be... What would be the amount? Do you want to just pay out the full 20% of the overall contract, or do you wish to reduce that by any amount?
The doctor is happy to keep it simple, and 20% of the...
Okay. The 400,000.
I
think it's organic to decide, really, yeah.
Yeah, Captain, what do you wish to do?
Well, no, it's the Dr. Ilias and me, I guess. So it's sort of the joint ship owners, but yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay. I'll put it in the accounts.
You got to enjoy the turret while it lasted.
Briefly.
Okay. Then, with the arrival on the world, and the delivery for the final delivery of and discharge of your package and one of your crew members, guys, that brings us to the end of the Borderland Run.
Wow.
Woo.
Wow.
Awesome.
We got 29. So I mentioned at the outset of the adventure, but for those listening at home, this is... we made some modifications to it over the course of our version of it, but this is one of my favorite adventures I've ever read or run. It's a terrific module. And we'll leave our heroes there, or travelers arriving there. Guys, have you any closing thoughts or comments as we end the Borderland Run adventure?
This was great. Thank you all very much. It's been a pleasure.
It's been terrific. Really,
As
really
long
good.
as nutters.
Yeah.
I was actually very tense. When I realized how powerful the Azalan was, Dane, I was like, ooh, maybe he hasn't got this. So there's a big thank you to Rick and Alice still for...
Thank you very, very much, guys. That was very generous. Then, Carl, any thoughts?
Yeah, if Ghani makes that comment, he goes, "Well, maybe we should travel to Vargar space, and then we can really see some crazy."
then we will bring today's session to a close then. So for those listening at home, as is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There is also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have a channel dedicated to this game, Wait, do we have for this campaign? I think I did set one up, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we have for this campaign. In addition to that, there's also channels for finding a group, for GM discussion. There's a really terrific community that has built up over the years over there, and you are more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to something called, to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an amazing selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, like, say, I don't know, Fading Suns 4th edition. There is if they do not have something in stock that you are looking for in their extensive catalog, you can put it on a want list. Then when you pick up, or if you make a purchase of $10 or more, be sure to enter the code MuserMashup. It's listed in the description of the video. All caps, all one word, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. That'll change around September 2024, but until then, you can enter that and save some money on your purchases. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. You can learn all about their activities by following that link. And if you make a purchase, any donations that go through that link go directly to them. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from the SOS Children's Villages International's services. In addition, as a small way of saying thank you to the donors, if you donated $25 or more since January 1st, 2024, head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server. And again, there's a link to that down below. We have voting going on right now for the first of our mashup sessions. We're running 5 sessions, mashing up classic adventures with RPGs they were not designed to be run with, and voting is currently underway for the Expedition to the Barrier Peaks mashup. We have 4 different games on offer, and there's already there's already some pretty tense voting races going on between 3 of the 4 games we have on offer. If you have donated $25 or more since the start of the year, be sure to head on over there and cast your vote. You will also be entitled to vote for the other 4 mashup sessions that we have from now until the end of the year. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart travelers. So, James, David, Carl, Graham, and Jeffrey, who is not feeling well today, thank you so much for joining me on the Borderland Run, guys. This has been a module I have been looking forward to running since it was first announced. It was even better when I read it, and even better when I got to run it. So this has exceeded my high expectations for this adventure. Thank you very, very much, guys, for joining me on this voyage. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. We'll see what we're playing then. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours or several sessions to take your mind off the troubles of our world and see what see the troubles that are besetting our crew, who are simply trying to earn enough money to keep their ship in the sky. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.